300 of them, and I'm not going to talk through that many with you, so have no fear. But I did pull out some of my favorites when I was putting this together, and I wanted to kind of share them with you and explain what some of them are. I'm sure we'll start almost at the very beginning. Everybody recognizes this handsome devil here, right? He looks pretty much the same now as he did then. He had that same mischievous look in his eye. So,
debonair style.
and this little gal right here, I know Mom isn't always 100% fond of this picture. I'll show you if you zoom in just a little bit on this. This, I'm going to guess, is in Pennsylvania. Mom was born in Pennsylvania. And if you'll notice, there's a little lump here. Mom had fallen and hit her head on the sidewalk and evidently walked around with that little lump for seemingly forever for a little girl who was probably conscious about having a little lump on the middle of her forehead. But I think it's still a pretty sweet little picture. And I love this handsome rogue right here with showing off his fish. Well, he'd have to tell you where it is. I'm guessing it's somewhere in upstate New York. Okay. And looking just very handsome and confident. And I love this picture too with the braids of my mom. A little bit older. Very studious.
The lump's gone.
Yeah, the lump is gone. I'm sure it was not on her forehead nearly as long as she remembers it being on her forehead. And then we've got my dad and his dad standing in their backyard. Dad's holding a cat. He always had cats, and he always makes friends with cats wherever we go. Find a cat somewhere, Dad will be over trying to love on the cat. Yeah, this is in Binghamton, New York. Their backyard, and they found members in there. Love this picture of my mom and her dad. This is right before her best friend's wedding. And I don't know what they're talking about, but it certainly looks like a good conversation. You can imagine what might have gone on there. Maybe it was just a nice moment, I don't know. Yeah, there are a couple of old cars in these pictures, as you noticed. Oh, look at this guy. Now we're talking. We're getting a little bit closer to these two meeting each other. He's all dressed up for something, looking sharp. Mom also looking very nice. Growing up. Wait, what's this?
Ooh, I like it.
There's a car. Why would I all of a sudden have a car up here? This was my dad's TR3, which he was extremely proud of and spent a lot of time polishing, tuning, and driving around with the top off as much as possible. And a lot of guys use cars as a strategy to meet women, and I don't know you ladies can tell us how well that actually works, but we think it works, and so we keep doing it. This is on Daytona Beach. This really doesn't have anything to do with their story, but this was a good picture of this particular car. So I don't know if he was down there in spring break or what the story was, but then Mom was working for a company called Burroughs in Binghamton, New York, and she saw somebody come wheeling up in this car, and she said, "What's that?" And the manager said, "That's Frank Halls from the Elmira branch." She said, Well, Dad, of course, in true Dad fashion, went roaring up between the buildings. The exhaust set up to be as loud as possible. And, most women might not have been impressed by this, but for my mom, she said, "I need to meet this man." So this car was very important to me because without this car, who knows if I would even exist. So I'm very fond of this car, even though I never got to sit in it. So now we have the happy couple 50 years ago today, June 6, 1964, in West Presbyterian Church in Binghamton, New York. My dad looks like he's probably about 17 there. And this was a few years later. You can tell that there's no bags under their eyes or anything because I wasn't around yet. So everybody was still sleeping every night and looking good, lots of energy. Look at how chipper he is. And I love this picture right here. I'll explain this the best I know because I don't really know the true story behind this, but that's actually a styrofoam hat, which in 1970 or whenever this was taken probably seemed like a really fantastic idea. I'm not sure if they still do that at political conventions or not, but it was high fashion then. And I just love the look in his eye. Certainly, it's a good moment captured by somebody. And he's definitely rocking the 1970s sideburns there. Maybe trying to look like Clint Eastwood a little bit, I'm not sure. But I love the gleam in his eye. It's always been there, and it still is. And then, I didn't bore you with a bunch of little baby pictures of me. Those of you probably saw some in the pictures here, because baby pictures of me look pretty close to baby pictures of that little guy over there, too.
Oh, yeah.
And this little man wearing these unfortunate red, white, and blue pants, I have to guess that was probably sometime around the bicentennial. And everybody was doing it, and it was cool then, I promise. And mom and dad, and my dad's mom. So, traveling early on. Family pictures, 1977. Wide collars. Big, thick plastic rimmed glasses. Hiking with mom and dad in the Adirondacks. We always did a lot of hikes wherever we were. We lived in the Catskills in New York, and we did a lot of hiking, and that was certainly a love they passed along to me. More family pictures. Sailing. You guys probably don't know this because I don't think they really sailed much out here, but we used to sail a lot on the East Coast, and the story was that Dad came home at some point and was getting restless and wanted a new hobby and said, I'm either going to learn to fly or sail. And Mom doesn't fly for pretty much anything, so sailing it was. So we got a boat, and then we got a little bit bigger boat, and sailed on a local lake, and then of course, this is out on the ocean, this is on the Atlantic, off the coast of Newport. We used to charter boats and take vacations there, so.
Where's Newport?
Rhode Island, yeah. So, out just down below Cape Cod and Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, we used to sail up to those islands and have a good time. And Mom and Dad always gave me a love of travel and exploring and trying new things, and certainly appreciate that about them. It's my graduation day from college. It's a few years back, about 22 years ago.
And by then you'd grown.
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm a little bit taller. Previous picture I was a little shorter, and a couple of years later I was full size. This is right when I first arrived in Washington. This is a picture near Roslyn. Mom and Dad had come out to visit me because they didn't live out here yet, but I just got the job in Wenatchee, and we all met up. Went for a little hike out there. Mom and Dad traveling again 2 years ago. Canadian Rockies, yes. And then they came to Canada to see me play hockey one time, which they'd never done before. But all of a sudden there was this beautiful young lady on the scene, and she was coming to Canada with me, and they wanted to meet her. So all of a sudden they thought they might come see a hockey game. I'm not really sure they saw the hockey game. They spent a lot of time talking to her. And that evidently went pretty well. I didn't scuttle the deal, so.
Maybe it sealed the deal.
You folks probably recognize where this picture was taken. A lot of others might not, but this is up on Hurricane
I
Ridge,
can do this.
which is one of my favorite places that I've ever been, and hopefully we might get up there tomorrow. So we managed to stand, I still don't know how this happened, but the tallest person stood on the highest piece of ground, and the shortest person stood on the shortest piece of ground. There's not that much different between our height, but my wife loves this picture, so we dug around until we found it. It was a very fun day. That was one of our first days out, all four of us together learning who we are. And you always know it's a good vacation when you've got hard hats on. Grand Canyon or somewhere, I'm imagining. I don't know, Grand Canyon?
It's the dam. Yeah, somewhere down around there.
The kids are here, Mom, please.
The one in
You spell that for us.
Arizona.
Lake Mead, Lake Powell,
Lake Powell, yeah.
Okay. Glen Canyon, all right. And y'all know where this is? Right out here locally somewhere on one of these beaches.
Port Williams, yes.
Who knows?
And then, this would be June 25th, 2006. And that was a really beautiful day. It was a very hot day. And had all the family there. That's my folks, Wendy's dad, her mom, and her stepdad. And it was a really enjoyable day. A lot of friends, a lot of family there, and everybody gets along great, so that was great. No, Wendy and I are both only children, so you don't understand how desperate they were to marry us both off. Because we were extremely aged. We were in our mid-30s and had not yet married, so our parents were completely desperate, just about giving up hope of ever having any grandchildren. So they were all playing very nicely together and just very happy people to get to meet. So this is Mom and Dad on Valentine's Day a couple of years ago. Got all duded up for Wenatchee. That's really dressed up for Valentine's Day. Because most people don't wear suits there. Nice picture of them. And this is Timmy's baptism. The whole family together for that. And certainly enjoy. They turn out for everything in Wenatchee. Whenever we've got a family event going on, we've got the family there. So another bit. I think this is another Canadian Rockies one, possibly. No? Winthrop, okay. There you go. I should recognize that. And this little man started to capture their hearts as well. Yeah. Looks like a littler, chubbier Timmy. And then this little lady came along, and we threw this picture in because Pop spends a lot of time whenever he can like this, helping out by sleeping with Emily. Somebody has to get her to take her nap, so Pop will do the duty when he needs to. We've got Bunny is here with him as well. Mom's not left out either. Mom likes to sleep with Emily too. Sleeping with Emily is a pretty nice thing. She's a good little cuddle buddy. And that is not the car. Unfortunately, that car is long gone, but it is another red Triumph, just like Dad had. We found that at the car show one day, so picture the boys with that. Typical Thanksgiving timer shot. Oops. Skip there. There's Mom and Dad doing a pose. That was a couple of years ago when Emily's hair was pretty short. Crater Lake. Just did that a couple of years ago. There we go. Look at that dedicated grandpa. He's not only horsey to a wild cowgirl with a pink cowgirl hat who's spurring him on, but he's also building a train track at the same time. Super grandpa. And Mom is over there all the time too, wrestling both. That's a well-deserved birthday kiss right there. But everybody loves Nana. And more family shots last fall. Mom actually knitted me that sweater a long time ago.
Where is that?
This is in Wenatchee.
See the same brush?
Yep. Just
Saddle Rock.
yeah, Saddle Rock. It's right just on the edge of town. Photo shoot up there. And Mom and Dad even turned out. I did a stair climb recently at the Columbia Tower in Seattle, and the firefighter stair climb, raised money for leukemia, and they came out and supported, even though there's nothing fun about watching it because you just watch your loved ones disappear into the building and then come back out half an hour later. But it was great to have them there, and certainly meant a lot to me that they would come spend their weekend that way. And this is pretty recently. I got roped into coaching the T-ball team. something I know very little about, but I love to be involved with the kids. So, Mom and Dad joined in as well, and Wendy did, and we all coached the T-ball team. And all spent a lot of time there. So, thanks to Nanny and Pop for doing that. And then this is the I think the last one of the series here is just a great shot of the two of them.
Their 48th anniversary.
48th anniversary. Got a little shot out kind of in the front of our house. The neighbors have a nice rock wall there, so it's got a picture of them right there. So anyway, thanks for sharing those with me. And thanks for helping us, pay tribute to 50 years with a couple of fantastic people who've certainly taught me a great deal about the right way to be married and the right way to live your life and how to have fun, and certainly a lot of the happiness I have, I feel I owe them. I know how to be a husband and a dad and all that. So, all right, with that, let's get dancing and eat cake and everything else we need to do.